Welcome to episode 12 of Tornado Facts with Beanrock124. Today's video is about the tornado outbreak of June 7 through 8, June 7 and 8, 1984 tornado outbreak. It was a significant severe weather and tornado event that took place across the central U.S. from North Dakota to Kansas between June 7th and June 8th of 1984. The tornado outbreak produced several significant tornadoes, including an F5, which traveled through Barneveld, Wisconsin in the early hours of June 8, 1984. The entire outbreak killed at least 13 people across 3 states, including 9 in Barneveld alone. So here's your meteorological synopsis. A low-pressure system entered the midwestern U.S. on June 7th and intensified while bringing a surge of moist and humid air coming from the Gulf of Mexico. After most of the affected areas were hit by a mesoscale convective complex earlier during the morning on June 7th, the unstable atmosphere as well as wind shear and high Cape values, convective available potential energy, it produced a favorable environment for the development of extensive severe weather with possible tornadoes. Starting at around mid-afternoon, started to produce several tornadoes across southern Minnesota and northwestern and southern Iowa, including 3 F3s and a long-tracked F4, which tracked over 130 miles from extreme northern Missouri to southwest of Iowa City. That tornado killed 3 people, including one in Missouri's Harrison County. Another person was killed in Ringgold County in Iowa by an F2 tornado at around 9 o'clock Central Time. Activity continued through the overnight hours as a new cluster of storms developed across Wisconsin near the Iowa and Illinois borders and produced strong tornadoes, including the Barneveld tornado up until the early morning hours of June 8, 1984, before dissipating. Straight-line winds in excess of 100 miles an hour and very large hail were also reported in eastern Iowa from the storm that went on to produce the Barneveld tornado. So here's the tornado count. A total of 46 tornadoes touched down. 4 F0s, 13 F1s, 23 F2s, 4 F3s, 1 F4, and 1 F5. And here's your tornado list here. Here's that long-tracked one, that long-tracked F4. And then here's the F5. We'll get to this in right here. So as the tornado activity calmed down across Iowa and Minnesota, As the tornado activity calmed down across Iowa and Minnesota, in which numerous strong to severe tornadoes struck those areas from mid-afternoon to mid-evening, the severe weather shifted east toward Wisconsin after dark, where a tornado watch was issued at about 11 p.m. By this time, most of the residents of Barneveld had gone to bed and were unaware of the tornado watch. A supercell thunderstorm, which affected portions of southeastern Iowa, with a few tornadoes around 9 p.m., Before weakening and intensifying shortly after, entered Wisconsin from the Iowa-Illinois border at around midnight near Dubuque. Shortly after 12:30 a.m. Central Time, June 8th, it produced its first tornado near Belmont in Lafayette County and lifted near Mineral Point in Iowa County, about 15 miles southwest of Barneveld. A few minutes later, this storm system produced one of the few F5 tornadoes to hit Wisconsin ever, developing northeast of Mineral Point, 5 to 6 miles southwest of Barneveld. At 12:41 a.m., this F5 tornado drove through the center of Barneveld with full force, finally dissipating in northern Dane County around 1:40 a.m. after traveling 36 miles for 59 minutes. A strong lightning strike cut the electricity to the town just a few minutes before the tornado struck, but it was followed by a deafening clap of thunder that awakened many residents. It is said that the loss of power prevented the tornado sirens from being activated prior to its arrival. In actuality, the tornado did not have any tornado sirens that differed from the sirens used to activate the town's volunteer fire and EMT squad. Had the sirens been activated, the residents would have... If the siren had been activated, the residents would have not known it was a tornado warning. That doesn't make sense. At its peak width, the tornado was nearly a quarter-mile wide. Other tornadoes rated from F1 to F3 touched down from Columbia County to Dodge County until after 3 a.m. when it finally weakened and eventually dissipated. The tornado was responsible for 9 deaths and 200 injuries in Barneveld, while causing $25 million in damage. In total, all three churches, those churches right here, I don't feel like reading them, you can read them. 93 homes, 17 out of the 18 businesses in town, including the library, municipal building, fire station, bank, and post office were destroyed. The village's water tower, though damaged, was not toppled by the winds. In addition, 64 other homes were badly damaged. The F5 damage occurred at a cul-de-sac on the northeast side of town. A cluster of several newly built homes were completely swept away at this location. Trees were debarked and vehicles were thrown and mangled. Some of the debris, including paperwork, was found later about 135 miles away from town. 8 homes were also destroyed in the town called Black Earth, and 24 homes were destroyed between Barneveld and Black Earth. Other tornadoes in Wisconsin caused 2 additional injuries and about $15 million worth of damage, but no additional fatalities. The National Weather Service in Madison reported that the frequency of lightning flashes in the storm visible from Madison exceeded 200 per minute. The flashes running together into a strobe-like effect, as mentioned in media reports and books about the disaster. Now here's a historical perspective on this tornado. So this tornado was more particular. It was one of the rare tornadoes to occur during the overnight hours. Well after sunset, although EF5 and F5 tornadoes have occurred elsewhere during night, including more recently in Greensburg on May 4th, 2007, as well as in Birmingham, Alabama in April of 1988, downtown Lubbock, Texas in 1970, Tanner, Alabama, and Ewan, Alabama in 1974, and Udall, Kansas in 1955, the last being the deadliest Kansas tornado ever with over 80 deaths. The Barneveld tornado was the first F5 since the 1958 Colfax tornado, which killed 21. It was the first F5 tornado since April 2nd of 1982, when one touched down near Broken Bow, Oklahoma. That was last episode, I believe. No, it was not. It was 2 episodes ago. The next one occurred on May 31st, 1985, in Wheatland, Pennsylvania, during the 1985 U.S.-Canada tornado outbreak, which is next episode. The Oakfield tornado of July 18th, 1996, the most recent F5 in Wisconsin, did not cause any fatalities, and that'll be in a few weeks. So that is it for this Tornado Effects with Beanrock124 video. And by the way, here's the path that the tornado took. Here's Madison right here. So this was west of Madison, by about 20 miles or so. So that is it for this episode of Tornado Effects with Beanrock124. As previously mentioned, next episode will be about the May 31st, 1985 tornado outbreak. Goodbye.